1976. From the 2nd of February to the 18th of May, David Bowie embarked on the Isolar 1976 tour in support of his current album, Station to Station. On that tour, the shows would open with a screening of the stark black and white surrealist film Un Chien Andalou, which includes a famous scene of a woman's eyeball being cut by a razor blade. The film is very shocking and very bizarre, and many in attendance back then at those concerts didn't have a clue what was going on. Just as the film finished, Bowie appeared without any announcement, while the audience was still a bit disorientated. Clad in black and white with dyed blonde hair, Bowie looked like he just stepped out of The Man Who Fell to Earth. The film where he played? Yes, an alien. The stage was lit with banks of fluorescent white light with a stark black background. No props, no other visuals, and I think Bowie himself devised the lighting. It was a show like I've never seen. It was dramatic, spectacular, and utterly brilliant. Now, just as the doors opened and people started streaming into the auditorium, and during the playing of that film, the PA played selections from German band Kraftwerk's album, Radioactive. Bowie had wanted the band to support the tour, but had received a firm and friendly no thank you. So let's backtrack a little bit. The previous year, 1975, Bowie had embraced soul, funk and rhythm and blues. It was soul, funk and rhythm and blues, but not quite as we know it. Bowie himself called it plastic soul, with the album Young Americans. This album had yielded the #1 single fame, a dance floor disco smash around the world. So was this where Bowie's career was heading? David Bowie, the soul man? Well, David's next song, his next single, seemed to back up this theory. Golden Years. David even appeared on the American TV program Soul Train, miming to the track. Golden Years, yes, has elements of 1950s doo-wop, and links have been made to certain drifters and funk band The Blazers. But looking back now, from 2022, one thing we should have known is that with David Bowie, he will never do the expected. No album in rock music sounds anything like Station to Station. The 10-minute title track has been described as a momentous prog disco suite. The disco funk, soul and rhythm and blues are still there, but it's alien, it's harsh, it's robotic, cold, dare I say it, European. It's an album of love songs, seemingly sung by a person who has no love to give. Maybe it's the side effects of the cocaine. It is often said that the album Station to Station was inspired by krautrock, bands like New and Kraftwerk. I don't hear that on the album. For me, that would be a little bit more apparent on Bowie's next album, the first of the Berlin trilogy, Low. If Bowie was to take anything from those bands, it was a cold, futuristic detachment. In attitude, more than music. David Bowie. What I was passionate about in relation to Kraftwerk was their singular determination to stand apart from the stereotypical American chord sequences and their wholehearted embrace of a European sensibility displayed through their music. This was very important to me. Midway through the Isolar tour, Bowie and Iggy Pop did meet up with Kraftwerk at a studio in Dusseldorf, but the many rumours about proposed collaboration was never on the cards. Bowie saying that while he wanted to incorporate electronic sounds into his music, the two artists were poles apart. David Bowie. Kraftwerk's percussion was produced electronically, rigid in tempo, unmoving. Ours was the mangled treatment of a powerfully emotive drummer, Dennis Davis. The tempo not only moved, but was expressed in more than human fashion. Bowie did, however, record the piece V2 Schneider as a kind of tribute to the group's leader, Florian Schneider. And the gesture was reciprocated by Kraftwerk on the title track of their Trans-Europe Express album. As they sang "From Station to Station, Back to Dusseldorf City, meet Iggy Pop and David Bowie, Trans-Europe Express." Though the possibility of Bowie and Kraftwerk working together was never realistically on the table, the impact that they had on popular music is immense. And if Kraftwerk did one thing for Bowie, it was to open up his eyes to new possibilities, new horizons. The next 3 Bowie albums, the Berlin Trilogy, saw the Thin White Duke journeying through uncharted lands. Funnily enough, the closest I feel David Bowie ever got to Kraftwerk's sound would be Sister Midnight from Iggy's The Idiot album.